Imagine working hard day after day, only to have your boss steal your paycheck and laugh in your face when you dare to ask for it. That was my reality at 22 years old. But little did he know, I was quietly building a case that would destroy him in front of everyone. And when the day came, oh, it was glorious. If you've ever dreamed of seeing a toxic boss get exactly what they deserve, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. Because this is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. I was just 22 years old working at a small auto shop. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, and the owner was a decent guy. The kind of man who'd drop by once a week, bring pizza for the team, and ask how our families were doing. But the real day-to-day running of the shop, that was left to supervisors, and that's when C entered the picture. Rude to customers, cruel to employees, strutting around like he owned the place. He had this smug little smirk he wore whenever he cut someone down. And trust me, he cut a lot of people down. At first, I kept my head down. I thought, I'm young, I need this job. Just push through it. But then came the paychecks. 1 week passed, then 2. Suddenly, I noticed I was missing 2 full paychecks. That's rent money. That's food money. That's survival when you're 22 and broke. I asked him about it nervously. And you know what he did? He smirked, leaned back in his chair and said, "Go ahead, complain. See if anyone cares." Bitter chuckle. I felt powerless. My stomach twisted with anger, but I stayed quiet, at least on the outside. Then one day, I overheard him bragging, not just about mistreating employees. Number. He was laughing about rolling back odometers, faking titles, creating fake bills to scam customers. Voice sharpens, as if leaning closer to listener. And something inside me snapped. He thought I was weak, but I knew right then and there that I was going to bring him down. For the next 3 months, I became an undercover detective in every shady receipt he wrote. I copied it, every fake bill, photographed, every illegal title transfer. Documented and filed. I filled an entire folder, neat and organized, like a prosecutor preparing for trial. It wasn't easy. My hands would literally shake as I tucked papers into my bag, praying he wouldn't notice. But I kept telling myself, one day this will all be worth it. The breaking point. Fired. Then came the final straw. He called me into his office, stone-faced. "You're done here," he said. Just like that. No explanation, no paycheck, nothing. I walked out of that shop with nothing but anger in my chest and my folder of evidence in my hands, and I knew exactly where I was going next. The owner worked at another location, far away from C's little kingdom. He didn't see the day-to-day abuse. He only knew the shop was making money. I showed up at his office, folder in hand, my heart racing. I expected him to brush me off, to tell me I was just a bitter ex-employee. But instead, he listened. Carefully. His face hardened with every page I showed him. "You'll get your job back," he told me. "But give me time to look into this." Small pause. Narrator's voice softens. For the first time in months, I felt hope. 2 weeks crawled by. I barely slept. My friends told me to let it go, but deep down, I knew justice was coming. Then the call came. The owner wanted me back at the shop. I walked into the shop that morning, and it felt different. The air was tense, electric. Then the owner stormed in, not alone. He had a group of massive guys with him, the kind you don't argue with. C froze. That smug smirk vanished. The owner confronted him right there, in front of everyone. He had already spoken to customers, the ones C had insulted, cheated, and scammed. He had my folder in hand, every page a nail in C's coffin. Pause for emphasis. And then it happened. The guys grabbed C by the collar, dragged him through the shop, kicking and sputtering, his face pale and pathetic. He didn't look like a boss anymore. He looked like a dog with its tail between its legs, and just like that, he was gone. The shop was different after that day. One of my coworkers stepped up as supervisor and the whole atmosphere changed. We laughed again. Customers smiled instead of complained. The shadow that C had cast over us was finally gone, and every now and then we'd laugh about it. About the day Justice walked through those shop doors and dragged the devil out by his collar. He thought I was powerless. He thought he could steal from me, humiliate me, and get away with it. But in the end, his arrogance was his undoing. I still live by this rule. Do no harm, but take no shtiche. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply standing up and showing people you're not as weak as they think. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this. Because trust me, we've got plenty more.